Alrighty. Oh, that's a weird camera angle. Sorry about that. We're still working on it. Howdy, gamers. I am here alone, and I'm just playing through Primal Rage, just cuz. And there is no sound coming from Primal Rage right now. I was having some difficulties with this. This may or may not have to stay this way. Because, the Sega was being a little... Howdy! How you doing? The Sega was being a little weird. I was making some, like, sounds, and for the record, that's... I mean, the Sega I have, I would, like, lift it up and bring it towards the camera, but I'm quite frankly afraid to even touch it, because it definitely needs, like, an air blast, but I'm kind of out of it right now. There's, like, a chunk of lint in it, and I couldn't get it out. So, there may just have to be no sound. There's not that much sound to this game anyway. I'm just gonna see if I can get through it. It's like 15 minutes. But I did really love this game when I was younger. Probably shouldn't have been playing it. I'm messing with the controls right now to see if I can get some sound. You know, oddly enough, the Sega that I have right now, this isn't the original one I had when I was a kid. This is the one that my best friend and I found here in college like a million years ago. And we were literally walking down the street, and it was just sitting there on the side of like trash can, just in a bag, the Sega, and like a couple of games. And we were like, dude, who's throwing out their Sega? And like, I'm pretty sure the scenario was some kid went off to college and like their mom or dad, parents, whatever, threw it out. They're like, junior isn't gonna want this anymore. I don't know what parents sound like that, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. You know, I hope this isn't yours, dude. I hope this isn't your Sega. But this isn't my original. This is I wish I could hold it up to the camera, but this isn't the same kind I had. My Sega was the bigger one, like the 16-bit where you can cram all those fucking attachments to and shit. It had all the plugins and hookups. It was like a hot mess. This one is like the really small. Maybe I could pick it up. I kind of want to pick it up. I'm gonna regret this, huh? Here it is. The little tiny guy. This isn't the one I had growing up, but it's very finicky. It works, but it's finicky. And even the power button, that initially we didn't even know if it worked because the power button doesn't even light up. It was just, we just took a chance on it, and it just happens to work. So it, you know, right on, awesome. It just was like, sweet, got a free game console. It just looks like shit and plays like ass. So there's no sound to the game. I mean, there is sound to the game, but I can't get it to work. Eli's in here, you know, she makes everything work. So sorry. Why did you throw... Dude, why did you throw your stuff out on purpose? Send it to us. Why would you... In your N64 too? I mean, what, were you mad? Did you, like, rage quit to the extreme and you just, like, threw all your shit out? I would never throw it out. Like, I had to sell a lot of my games, but I never threw them out. I had to sell due to necessities. I would never throw my games out. I've never thrown out a game. Even the games that sucked, I never threw them out. And I have some sucky games. I never said I was good at this game when I played it. I just really like it. I always pick Talon because he's cute and he moves really fast. And I think the only way you can get the ending screen in the game is if you beat it on 10 difficulty. I think I have it on like 7 or 8. I was playing through this because I was planning on doing a video for this game. so I got the footage I needed or whatever, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just stream it real quick. But his ending clip is like the best because he's just like lounging in the grass with like all these presumably female raptor things just chilling, and he's like all about peace and love and getting raped. But yeah, he has like the best ending screen. Dude, games why would you throw them out? It is not junk. I mean, I commend you for keeping the Dreamcast, because we don't have a Dreamcast. We have a lot of systems, but the Dreamcast is the only one that we're having difficulties getting our hands on at a price we can afford, because we're really poor over here. And a lot of the systems that we do have are just systems that we kept. But Dreamcast I still don't have, and I really, really want. PS2, I have 2 PS2s. I don't know, whenever I just see a PS2, like in a secondhand store, I'm like, sweet, PS2, let's get another one, just cause. But they're kind of like, damn, it doesn't, it's just kind of like, funny. It's like, it's not even like it's not cause like, oh, PS2s are crap, no, PS2s are great, I love PS2s. Oh, time out, whatever. But I would never get Super Nintendo. I would never get rid of Super Nintendo. PS1, I have a PS1 as well. I don't use this much, but I kind of want to hook that one up and play from that one as well. It's like, I'm aware that you don't, like with a lot of backwards compatible consoles, you don't have to use them, or you know, you could just buy them, or the virtual consoles or whatever, but sometimes there's something about just kind of, you know, playing from the actual, like, using the controllers. On this one I have my Sega Genesis Mega Fire controller. There's no reason to use the Mega Fire on this. We're not playing a, you know, like a shoot-'em-up game or something. When I did start doing recording stuff for this game, it was stuck on the Mega Fire, and I was like, why is my dinosaur, why is Talon just perpetually biting the air? Like, walking made him bite the air, crouching made him bite the air, everything just made him bite the air, and I realized it was stuck on turbo mode. So, I never quite understood the, oh god, I'm stuck. Okay. Never understood the turbo. I just like it because it's bigger and it's an official Genesis controller. I can't see that. Whereas the other ones are just like, you know, generic controllers. And dude, I feel you on getting the old consoles back. I really do, because again, when I was in college, there's a lot of things that you have to sacrifice, like big time. It's kind of like, do I want to eat, or do I want to sit here and play video games? And there's times where I definitely was like, I just want to sit here and play video games. And clearly, you know, I ate, but it was like, it was to the point to where it's like, I can only tolerate ramen noodles for so long, and, you know, I like got sick a lot in college, and, come here, dude. I don't like you. I don't like you because you're better. But then when it came down to rent, that's when the real issue came down. So I remember the very first console I was kind of like had my back against the wall and sold was actually my Wii, because at the time the Wii was like sought after. Like you could actually get money for that. I fucking hate this guy. But I remember like this was like my first time using Craigslist, and I felt like, I don't know, I just felt so dirty afterwards. I'm like, oh my god, I'm selling my precious weed. I can't believe I'm doing this. And I was just like, I remember I just felt so sketchy because we met like in the subway. Not Subway sandwiches, like Subway down below ground. Oh, this guy's kicking my ass. I'm dead. And it's like, I just felt terrible, but, you know, I had to. Remember, I got quite a bit for it. It was enough to like pay off like the rest of my rent and stuff. But it's just it really sucked because I really didn't want to sell that. And then all the games you buy on the virtual console. That's the thing that sucked the most about the Wii. Is like, again, you have the games, you know, from the NES and SNES, and then you buy them again, and you buy them again, and then you buy them again. And it's kind of like, I get it that you can't, you know, shove a NES or an SNES game. Oh my god, I don't know what it is about this guy, but he just psychs me out, and I can't do it. It doesn't help that I'm looking at like, there's like 4 pixels on the screen. That's an excuse. It doesn't matter if it was, you know, HD remake or if it was a million pixels. I still would be, still kick my ass. But you end up spending, like, you buy the console, and then you spend like, what, like $100 on rebuying your past, and then you sell the game, or the, you know, the console itself. The console costs you $300, you resell it for like 100. Cheap shots. You really resell it for like, you know, $120, but you have like $100 worth of games on there, and then you just, it's a total, like, you know, they get the bargain, and you just get, there you go, fuck you. And, you know, in the end, like, they end up winning. Though I toughed it out for like a solid 8 years, because I was like, I know I can get a Wii for really, really cheap if I'm just really stubborn. Lo and behold, maybe like a month ago, I just kept, I love going to secondhand stores. It's like what we do. Like pretty much everything we own is secondhand. That's why like all I shred just doesn't work. Hey, cheap shot the hell out of you. No. I found a Wii. But at this secondhand store, if you come on certain days, certain tags are certain percents off. And one of the local game stores in our area, they unfortunately closed. Or they didn't like close down, they like revamped into one of those, what do you call it? They like, it's like, I liked it when it was a gaming store, because they had like a lot of old games, stuff you can't like really find anymore. And, I loved their selection, but now they're like, it's still cool, but, you know, I don't foresee myself going in there, because it's like you can go and, go rent, or not rent, but like, for like $1 or something, you can, get a video game controller to one of their current gen consoles and, play pretty much any game that's on the market now, or any newer game, and, you know, get a beer or whatever, or root beer, or, you know, 4 billion beers on taps or whatever. I don't drink, so that doesn't hold any weight to me, you know. A beer is a beer is a beer. So I'm totally gonna take bastard. And you go there and you can essentially just sit, like, they have all these really nice couches, huge, nice TVs, and, you know, HD, whatever. Yeah, well, it's not a game store. You can't buy any games. You go there to play games and, like, chill out. So, it's cool, you know, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to go to this place and, you know, order a slice of pizza and play games in public while some dude is sitting over me saying, hey, you know, if you press BB forward, you'll do Talon's hyper combo attack, because right now Blizzard is kicking your ass. You're about to die, bro, you're about to die. I mean, unless if you do, bro, you're about to die. Dude, bro, you're about to, well, see, look, bro, the only reason you beat him was because you were just spamming. That's not how you're, you know. And, you know, I'm not saying that everyone's like that at all. It's just, it's kind of like, when I play games, I'm weird, you know, and it's like gaming's become a thing where it's more social, which is why I guess I don't keep up with newer games. You know, even with games, you can't even play games in the same room anymore. It's like the fact that a lot of games that my wife and I want to play, we can't even just fucking sit next to each other and play it. Newer games, I mean. Like, we need, like, multiple computers or multiple PS4s or Xboxes. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't just sit next to her and plug the second game. Like, what's the point in having 2 ports in the PS4 if we can't even play multiplayer on half the games that we own? Like, I just don't get it. That still really baffles me. But yeah, it is like a modern arcade. But see, the other thing that was really cool. Oh god, Vertigo, I love you, but I hate you. She's a real bitch. Vertigo's a girl, by the way. And she's also really cool. She used to be my favorite, but I hate fighting her because I really think she's like kind of OP. It is like a modern arcade, but the biggest difference is everyone's sitting down on couches, and most of the time, at least when I walk by, it's just kind of like, oddly enough, there's this kind of people sitting there with pizza watching other people play games, because most of the time it's just Twitch in there. I mean, ironically, I'm sitting here on Twitch. Except for you, I know you're watching it through YouTube. I can see that, which I appreciate. But it's just kind of like, it's just kind of like, it almost seems like another place to just loiter, which I know arcades were like, but at least arcades, it's like this kind of common camaraderie almost, you know, like it was awkward, you know, you put your quarter up there and you didn't really have to talk, you just kind of like, you knew the lingo, you know, like, you know, you don't have to say, I got next. I mean, I guess you could. Oh my god, I didn't even stand a chance there. You just kind of put your quarter on there and you just kind of knew, you figured out the language and you got it, and then you got next, you go in there. So there were occasionally people who would like go in there and then just like kind of step right in front of you and take your place or whatever, but it's like there's something a little more satisfying about a cabinet, you know, cabinet game as opposed to just playing an actual console, which is what the last game store that they took over was. They sold old school games, and when I say old school, I don't mean like PlayStation 3. That's the other thing. Old school, I'm talking like they had Atari games in there, you know, they had Atari 2600, they had a Vector Vision in there, they had like all kinds of these beautiful old school games. They were paired gaming consoles, you know, they had Game Boys, the original Game Boys and Sega Genesis, and all the way up to newer consoles, and they had cabinet games. They could like refurbish cabinet games, and they had actual cabinet games in there, like arcade games you could go in there and play as well. And they also had like a little section where they had newer games that you could play, like, you know, the Wii U and the Switch. Exactly. It was like, it was perfect for me, because it's like, you know, maybe you want to go in there and play something a little bit newer, but if you wanted to go in there and play something a little bit old school, you could do that too. And it's like, I'm not saying that new games suck. I don't want anything new. But sometimes you want something old, and you can play older games on new consoles, but it's never gonna feel the same. Like, you can play old games on a new console, but you can't play new games on an old console. It's like, alright, I guess you can, but it's never gonna really quite be the same. You know what? Fuck you. You were dead. Sorry. Not you. I'm looking at the chat room, the camera's up here. I'm not really satisfied with the camera being up there. That's just weird. Not to mention it makes me look fat. I do like that they have like you know, the Atari things where they put the old games on the new consoles. Those are cool. You know, not everyone can just go out and buy a fucking cabinet game. That is like definitely one of my man cave fantasy wet dreams. Like, man, I swear, the only reason I want a house, dude, is so I can have cabinet games. I want like the original Star Wars trilogy. I want that walk-in Tron game. I want, like, there's so many games that I want. Even the Star Wars pod racing game. Even though I didn't like the original Star Wars Episode 1. I like that I said original Star Wars Episode 1, as opposed to there's like another one. Even though I didn't like Star Wars Episode 1 that much, that pod racing game, the full-on cabinet one, is really sweet. but still, it's like, yeah, original games. Well, okay, old school games. They come in different types, because there's old school games that are just have so much shit coming at you that you don't even get a chance to, like, you can't even fucking play. It's too hard, you know. And then you get like the games that just like eat your quarters, you know, when you go to arcades, that are just meant to just fucking be unfair, so they can get as much quarters from you as they can, you know. They set the difficulty level just so high that it's impossible, and you just sit there and just waste all your quarters to get through a game. I remember doing that a lot when I was younger. But you still get through the game. It only costs you, you know, $20. Have another quarter, Mom. I almost through this game. But, you know, whatever. I'm not hating on that too much. But it's like, I mean, you gotta admit, there's some, like, old school games that's like, come on, dude. This is just ridiculous. Like, it's like, at what point is this a good game? At what point is this... Or at what point is this a challenging game? At what point is this game just stupidly unfair? Or, you know, how am I supposed to know that? Or how was I supposed to guess that? There's, like, a lot of cheap tactics and moves and stuff. I mean, like, this game... I would say this game is pretty fair at times, and other times, like, character models just kind of glitch out. Like, when I was playing, doing some run-throughs for a video I'm working on, I had it set on 10, and at this point I actually I didn't know that it was set on 10, it just, like, defaulted to 10. And I was doing okay until actually I got into this guy, into whatever, the Armadillo guy, whatever his name is, and Vertigo. Those guys were just relentless, and I could not... I'm totally gonna crap out on you here. Yeah, I win. I had to do a lot of those kind of moves where I was just like, I got you low enough, back into the corner and hide, because I just could not. They were just like, they were spamming like their Spitfire attacks, and like spamming the Vertigo does that thing where she disappears and reappears, and I'm like, I can't get close to you. And I know there's people who, like, it's really amazing watching people who, like, specialize in fighting games, because it's like they have, like, this second mind, or, like, their brain transfers to their controller, and they're able to, like, do things that I don't understand. But, I don't have that ability. The only thing worse than fighting everyone else is fighting myself, because you already know I'm, like, cheap moves. I'm not a fighting game person. The only reason I loved this game as a kid was because it's dinosaurs. Like, everyone else is like, oh, Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I was like, oh, this is cool, you get to be a dinosaur. I love dinosaurs. And I guess, you know, it's like, oh, but there's blood and there's gore. Oh yeah, I'm not good at them either. I've never pretended I was good at fighting games. I loved, like, my favorite fighting games was actually, like, Super Smash Brothers. And when I was younger, Street Fighter, particularly 2, I never played Street Fighter 1. I didn't even know there was a Street Fighter 1. Even though it clearly says Street Fighter 2 on the package, I never registered the fact that it said Street Fighter 2. And you think I would have really bad memories of Street Fighter 2, because again, I had two older brothers, and all they would do is back me in the corner and do Hadouken, and I never got a chance to do anything. And half the time what they would do is they would unplug the controller, and I wasn't even aware of it, and I'd be like, why isn't my controller working? And keep in mind, like, I was a lot younger. Like, I mean, they were probably like, you know, 11, and I was like 6. So I never knew what I was doing, and even now I still don't know what I was doing. Like, I see my hands on the controller, I'm like, ugh! That's how I play fighting games. I'm one of those frustrating button masher types. I'm the person you hate to play with. Except for Brawl. I think I'm pretty good at Brawl. I've done a couple of competitions with Brawl. Never any official competitions, because I know they would just fucking laugh. But I've definitely done a couple, like, at cons. And I remember the first time I did it, I think think I was cosplaying Ansem, actually. But, like, it was just kind of, like, fun because everyone... I know that there's tactics and there's special ways and all this stuff to get past a lot of things. Come on, come hit me, dude. Because I'll totally wait out this 30 seconds or whatever. And I think usually people go with the faster characters, you know, because they're able to do all... Which, again, that's why I picked Talon. Oh my god. Because he's so fast. I'm gonna die. Am I gonna die? Ah! Fudge nuggets! Ah, sweet. But in Brawl, I always picked Bowser, because it was one of those things where it's like, he's slow, but once he hits you, you got like a 50-50 chance of flying off the stage. And that's just kind of always been my style with any Smash Brothers game. It's just, yeah, you're flying all over the place, Fox, but you make one slip up, and I will smack your ass off that stage. Son of a bitch. That's how I've always played, and I was getting made fun of quite a bit, because everyone was like, why the fuck is he picking Bowser? He's the slowest, But you know what? I took out that fucking Fox, and I took out that Game & Watch. Falco kicked my ass, though. But I was still proud, because I got second place in that match, when everyone was kind of thinking, like, there's no way that Bowser's gonna get anyone off that stage. But I did. Do not doubt King Koopa. I love Koopa to death, and I will always love him because he's adorable. We should all aspire to be King Koopa. And I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to beat myself. I can't. I'm not even close. I can't do it. I hate you. I think he's mad because I won on a technicality the first time. And he also knows how to use his character better, and half the time I'm getting myself mixed up with him. Even though we're slightly different shades. Ah, P-Knuckles. My favorite Smash Brothers is Brawl in particular. The first one is great, but they don't have Bowser in that one, in which case I went with Donkey Kong. I'm always going to be the bigger characters. Donkey Kong was the one I used the most in that. Brawl, I always use Bowser. But, I don't remember all the titles of them. I don't remember the one after that. The one that was on the Wii, I guess. Whatever it was called. Wii 1. Wii... Brawl. I don't remember. Whichever one Meta Knight was in, I kind of really had a thing for Meta Knight. But I think he was disqualified in most matches because he was a little cheaty. I know that he can fucking fly, which is kind of cheap. But that's probably why I really liked him, because he could fly. And he was just adorable, and I like his voice. I don't know. I just, you know, for a little blue ball with a mask on, you gotta admit, he's a really attractive little blue ball. Not to mention, I don't know if you've ever watched, asshole. I don't know if you've ever watched the fucking Kirby, the anime or whatever, but that anime was pretty sweet. That's like one of the few things that I like actually watched on Saturday mornings, and I was like older too, but for some reason I was quite smitten by his by Meta Knight's Venezuelan accent. I'm just putting that out there. You know, I'm not saying I got a thing for little blue balls, but I got a thing for him. That sounded weird coming out of my mouth, but I can't take it back. It's live. I stand by my words. What's that? Oh, it's my dog emerging from under the couch. I hate you. 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 Please die. I really don't want to do this again. Die. 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 There you go. Close enough. Best kind of victory is cheating your way through it. The actual, you know, Meta Knight aside, the show was actually pretty good. I do remember there was like a couple of episodes that were banned from the US. I don't think it was that big a deal. I don't know if it was a couple or just one. I just remember the particular one where Kirby essentially looks like he's been possessed by a demon or something, and he's just like, he looks like completely evil. He's like trying to kill everybody or something like that. I don't remember if that's like the premise. I need to like look at it again. But I do remember like looking at it and getting like mild chills, thinking like, whoa, Kirby doesn't look alright. But it was also like really kind of cool. What puppy? Where's my dog? I don't know. He's freaking out on the couch. The actual, I don't even remember the actual story. I just remember there's being a lot of really funny one-liners. King DDD was an idiot, but adorable. And the little weird things that didn't have, they had like little feet that didn't have legs. They just like were all torsos. I have to go back, you know what, I'm probably actually going to go back and watch that show again. Because I think I actually liked it. The intro in Japanese as well as English, I love them both, because the one in Japanese was really, really cute. As well as like the ending intro, because they tell you how to draw Kirby and it's really cute. But the one in English was like really fun and jazzy. But they both work so well, which that rarely happens, because usually when they change something, it's kind of like, why the fuck did they change it? They should have just left it in Japanese. It's natural. It's organic. I'm like, whatever, dude, you know. But in this case, I think they did a good job. I just don't know what possessed them to give Meta Knight an accent. I don't know if he had an accent in Japanese or what, but I would not change his accent for anything in the world, to the point to where I'm pretty sure if it, I know I keep going on about Meta Knight, I swear I'm not some like freak, it's just I swear if Meta Knight did not have that Venezuelan accent, I probably would not have been as into the show as I was, because I remember thinking like, oh, Kirby, an anime, that's kind of cool, whatever. But then, like, the moment, like, he spoke, I was like, why you got a Venezuelan accent, dude? But I'm not hating. I was cool with that. I really want to go watch the show. I'm, like, hyper fixated on it right now. Yo, I need to check out Steven Universe. I've been hearing lots of really great things about it, and it's not because I don't want to, it's just, I just haven't. You know, there's so many things that everyone, oh, I beat the game, there you go. I'd probably be more impressive if I beat it and I didn't die a million times, but whatever. I've been meaning to check out Steven Universe, because I've heard nothing but great things about it. I just, for some reason, I just haven't, and I don't even have an excuse. I remember the moment where I was like, oh, I really want to check out the show. I mean, there's like all the obvious things, all the inclusions, and the biggest thing everyone was talking about recently was somebody was getting married, and it's like a lot of like, I don't even know how to refer to myself in this category anymore. I just generally use the word queer because I feel like that includes everybody, and then so no one gets left out. But a lot of queer representation, which is always appreciated. But all that stuff aside, I just really like that big pink lion, and I just want that big pink lion. So it's usually like one thing that'll make me go, I gotta look at that thing, and that's all I really cared about. It's like, oh, I want that big pink lion, and then in the case of Kirby, the anime, Meta Knight has a Venezuelan accent. It's always little things that makes me go, I gotta do that thing. So I usually take that thing and then it expands on a bigger thing. That's generally how most of my life is ran these days. But anywho, this was just a really short stream just to see if the Sega will cooperate, which I guess it kind of did. Again, there's no sound. Whatever, I don't know why. You got to listen to me fucking talk for 39 minutes. Shortest stream ever. I didn't even know if it was possible, because half the time, well, it's when we're streaming Dragon Age, we stream for like 3 hours up. But it's nice to just do like a nice short stream sometimes. And it was nice talking to you. So I feel like half the time when you come in, we're just like so hyper fixated on, Oh my god, we gotta complete this quest, get to this quest to complete that quest, and I hope Dorian likes me! But there wasn't any worry about that. This was purely primal rage, lizards beating up monkeys, beating up more lizards, and that's how life should be. I wish we can get the ending screen, because I swear it's like the greatest thing ever, but I'm not ready for that. I already like blistered my thumb trying to get the footage for it earlier, and I'm not in the mood to sit here and yell at the game. Maybe next time, if I'm like prepared for it and I can get the sound to work. You hear sound? You can hear the sound of the game? Do you hear the sound of the game? Because I can't hear the sound of the game. Maybe I just have it plugged into the wrong hole. I mean, if you hear sound, then hoop-dee-dee, that's awesome. But I don't hear any sound. I guess it doesn't matter. There's only like 3 songs in the whole game. Well, fantastic. I guess there is sound in the game. Thank you for letting me know. There's no sound coming out on my end. I guess it doesn't really matter, because like I said, there's like... Sweet. That's great. There's only like 4 or 5 songs, and I think again with the Sega, when I was recording it earlier, I'm probably gonna have to cut out the sound because it was doing a lot of... But again, you get what you pay for. We found the Sega Genesis, or not even Sega Genesis, the Sega in the trash can. So, quality. But thank you so much for coming out and hanging with me. I appreciate it. I really do. The Last Airbender. Listening, it's fun talking to you actually, because half the time we don't get a chance to really talk to you. And usually when Eli's here, I'm usually too busy bothering her, or she's too busy ignoring me. But I'm trying to fix up the streams to where it's more consistent, regardless of what we're playing, because if we're going to have more people tuning in and following us, we need to have a consistent stream, regardless of what's being played. And like, believe it or not, we do have people like donating to us, and I figured the least we can do is give you all wonderful followers a more consistent schedule, which we've been saying for a long time. It's just kind of hard to figure out what days and what to stream, because we don't have a ton of games, but we do have, well, we have quite a few games, but it's kind of like with everything else we own, it's all old and used like us, like me. You know, we got Nintendos, we got SNESs, we got PlayStations. We have a Wii, but no sensor bar. But ultimately, we have access to everything, console-wise, with the exception of the newest consoles. The newest thing we have is PlayStation 4. But we don't have a lot of games. We have like 3 games, and they're all like Metal Gear or Dragon Age. But older games, older consoles, we're always open to suggestions. We always appreciate suggestions. Please let us know. What do you want? Comments down below. We're talking to YouTube. Talking to you, Oong. You in particular. But anyone else, let us know. We're here. We don't have a bunch of people crowding all over us. If you say anything to us, odds are I'm going to respond because there's no one else here. But we do appreciate the support we do get. I guess thank you for letting me know that there is sound. thank you for coming out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day wherever you are. And stay awesome. Goodbye.